bikes, left and right, survive the night. Easy peasy. Lord of the mushrooms, king of the rats, is now the great papaya. Mega Mogwai swim, stream, and the others are nothing. Nothing to the king of mushrooms, secret king of rats, the great papaya. Grappler. Subscribe to Grappler. Challenge is too big for him. Top decks like a god. Swing for the fences. Breaking bikes, left and right, survive the night. Easy peasy. Lord of the mushrooms, king of the rats, is now the great papaya. Mega Mogwai swim, stream, and the others are nothing to the king of mushrooms, secret king of rats, the great papaya. Grappler. Subscribe to Grappler. Challenge is too big for him. Top decks like a god. Swing for the fences. Breaking bikes, left and right, survive the night. Easy peasy. Lord of the mushrooms, king of the rats, is now the great papaya. Mega Mogwai swim, stream, and the others are nothing to the king of mushrooms, secret king of rats, the great papaya. Grappler. Subscribe to Grappler. Challenge is too big for him. Top decks like a god. Swing for the fences. Breaking bikes, left and right, survive the night. Easy peasy. Lord of the mushrooms, king of the rats, is now the great papaya. Mega Mogwai swim, stream, and the others are nothing to the king of mushrooms, secret king of rats, the great papaya. Grappler. Subscribe to Grappler.
What is up, guys? We are live. And welcome everyone to the stream. Hello there, Solace, Tams, Yasase, Cookhands, Hydro Penguin, Razley, Yasase once again. Who else is on here? Eclipse, Celeste, Devil May Cyclone, Dotachin, Dubby God. A lot of people on today. How are you guys doing? Happy start of the week. Well, maybe not that happy for people who have to work, but we are on Twitch. Watch this first. I saw it. You pinged me on Discord. I saw it. Matchmaker. And Bitslap. Hello as well. Hello. Kakarot as well. Isn't that just Asmon reacting to Narcvid, or is there more? No, there's more. If it was just Asmon reacting to Narcvid, I wouldn't watch it. It's just meh. But this is Asmon actually interviewing both Narc and Steven Sharif. He interviews them both. It should be spicy. I didn't get a chance to watch it either. I think it just came out. Your hairline slowly getting to the same height as Asmon's? Brother, it's still exactly 3 fingers, okay? Listen. It hasn't moved at all. Look. See? Look at that. Look at that. Exactly 3 fingers. It hasn't moved an inch. Bald man reacting to bald guy reacting to bald man's content. Your fingers are getting thicker. That's not how it works. He interviewed Steven. He might have also interviewed Thor. Conversation with Steven, say. And then we have conversation with Narc. And then Steven's response, he watches it. And a conversation with Pirate Software at the end. Ooh, spicy. Wait, it's a 6-minute Pirate Software conversation. It's kind of short. Interesting. But this should be fun to watch. I was worried I wouldn't get another 10 more hours of this. It's, damn, this is a long one. I'm not even sure if we're going to watch all of it. So, the Narc one is, Jesus Christ. We're going to spend all day watching this? I don't know. Camera top right. Oh, I'll move it, Tams, don't worry. When we start. Maybe we should do, yo, Tams, what if we milk this? Just pull out that and milk it for 3 YouTube videos. Oh man, Asmongold talks with Narc, Asmongold talks with Steven, Asmongold talks with Pirate Software. Terminally online. We could hard milk. My thoughts, Narc couldn't articulate himself. Asmon is too charitable to Steven, and Steven didn't address the core issue. Narc failed to get Asmon to understand. I see. Well, I have not seen it, Santiago, so I'll give you mine. Put your camera besides Asmon. That could work. I could do that. All right. Coffee is halfway there. Let me at least get some caffeine in the system before watching this. I have a hard time believing, though, that Steven did not address what Narc said, because here, it's literally, oh my God, 150-something to... It's 2.5 hours of conversation, brother. Sorry, 1.5 hours of conversation. More than an hour and a half. An hour and 40 minutes. Did he really not cover what Narc said? Professional yappers. He explained everything. Well, don't worry. I'll watch it, and I will tell you all the truth. I will read between the lines, chat. I'll let you know who's biased, who's not, who's lying, who's honest. I got a professional lie detector right here. I got this. All right, coffee's 80% done. It's yapping time. You got it. Actually, let me put the word "big" before all of this, just to bait some viewership. Yeah, and let me pull up some of those like little diamonds for the title as well, because I'm a professional streamer. Did you know that? There we go. There it is. All right. All right. Are we reacting to a reaction? No. Asmongold did an interview with Narkin, Steven, and Thor. Main problem caused all this is the fact that we showcased we got over the years were shown and interpreted as current progress on the game systems. And that's still true. When we get the freehold in phase 2, everybody and their dogs would assume that we would at least have what was shown in the showcase, not less. That's fair. Not planting trees, pigs, and chickens in a bare field with static houses. I mean, the first part is not quite fair. The second part is. Sure, you can make the assumption that once it's released, it'll be released in its full, but that's kind of on the people making that assumption. Right? They designed the assets. They have all the pigs, all the houses, all the stuff. Implementing it into a working format where they actually want to test it in that format takes time. Now, you can argue, well, they shouldn't have released freeholds until it was ready. That's fine, but maybe they want to test the simpler stuff first and then add that stuff. You can make the argument that it's taking them too long to figure it out and to put it all together. It should have been done a year ago. Well, that's fair as well. I guess they're late. What are you going to do? The entire, like, okay, so I think most people's problem with the game right now is it's taking too long, right? They're not delivering fast enough. These things should have been done a long time ago. And that's a fair argument to have, but my only response is, so what? What are we going to do? Yeah, it's taking long. At least they're working on it, right? What else is there to say? Yeah, it's taking a while. If we're impatient, I'm just going to stop playing the game. I'm going to wait for some fun stuff to come out. There's no other way to look at it. It's disingenuous to instead say they're scamming us. No, it's taking longer than expected. Well, it is what it is. Before A2 start, not all those listed on the roadmap. A2 will be at the complete. They said they'll come progressively. Sure. Thanks for the follow there, Zen. Thanks, buddy. I'm the perfect example for this. I have not touched Phase 2. I've not played Ashes for over a month. I played Phase 1. I got max level Ranger. I did a lot of cool stuff on the Ranger. I even played a character with full BIS gear of all legendaries on Ranger. I did everything there was to do in the game. Phase 2 was coming out. I saw very little new was going to come out. And I said, you know what? I have no interest playing this game right now. Why? Because nothing new is out. And guess what? I haven't played it yet. And guess what? I'll probably play it when Rogue comes out, which might be in a month or so. We don't know. But if it turns out, hey guys, we're going to have to delay the Rogue because we're working on other stuff, Rogue will be out in March. It is what it is. I'll play in March. You know? Yeah, the game's getting delayed. Let me ask you this, chat. Do you think Steven and the rest of Intrepid want the game to be delayed as long as possible? Of course not. The faster they finish the game, the faster they can start charging $15 a month. For them, it is a huge incentive to actually finish the game and ship. Because first of all, when you finish the game, you have a lot less money to pay. Because a lot of the actual game development can get toned down a little bit, and now you're just working on fixing stuff. So you don't need to have as many active people working on what they're working on. Second of all, you start making way more money. I mean, it's all positives. So they want to finish the game as much as we want them, if not more. Like, you guys realize Steven is watching his bank account just get smaller and smaller. And he knows he's going to cash in at some point. But, so yeah, I want the game to be out yesterday. But if it's not out yet, what are you going to do? You're going to wait? I'm going to wait. Start streaming scam left and right is silly. You know when I would scream scam? They said we're going to have to stop developing the project because we're out of money. At that point, I'd say scam. You know why? Because, well, they said they had the funding for it. But that's not the case, so. Use the right words, chat. Game's taking too long. Fine. Fair criticism. Game's a scam? Not fair. Making money beyond just employee salaries. You know nothing about AoC, but the complaints I've heard have been hilarious. Do you think that Rogue, when it comes out, will have the same amount of skills as the other classes? Yes. What if total of 5 talents when they give us the rogue? Almost impossible, because it would be it would make no sense to even give it out then. Why would they give us the rogue if it didn't have talents? What's the purpose of that? You can't even test the class then. Silly. I mean, keep in mind, I did pre-alpha testing as well, so I played all the classes months before phase 1. And they were all already basically complete with their skill sets and everything. I mean, not everything, a few things were changed here and there, but basically yes. You have plans to have your own guild? I want to join. Not anytime soon. Maybe phase 3, I'll consider it. So like phase 2, my only real gameplay loop is going to be playing the rogue and seeing how fun that is. That's my main interest. Maybe phase 3, I'll look into like what it's like to have a guild. Because we're going to get a lot of new content in phase 3. We're going to have a lot of cool things being developed there. And I think phase 3 could be a lot of fun. Maybe I would consider making a guild there. Narc has misplaced. I don't want to say anything about what Narc has until I hear his conversation with Asmon and hear it from his mouth. I mean, you guys saw my last video. I thought it was really silly how he did the whole desert thing. I talked about it there. It's like, well, I thought it was kind of funny. Me personally, so, okay, there's 2 ways to look at Narc doing the desert thing. Number 1, him doing it on stream is hilarious. I think it's a funny joke, right? Because he did that on stream. Like, the whole watching the showcase of the desert and going to the empty part, that's funny on stream. Because everyone knows it's a joke. It's kind of shitty doing it like on YouTube because not everyone on YouTube knows it's a joke. But in general, I find the humor of him doing it on stream to be spot on. He only showed the bad part. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like doing it on stream, I think it was absolutely fine. I think it's a good joke. On YouTube, not so much. But that's besides the point. I mean, people who know that what he was doing is a joke, but there's a lot of people who don't know, right? All right, coffee's done. You guys ready? Shall we do a bit of React? Having tons of fun in game, I can see the future with Arc Age in mind. That's awesome. I had a lot of fun in phase 1, man. So I totally get you there. I think phase 1 was a blast. All right, chat. It's time to do some React content. So let me just check volume first.
Like systems, for example,
I think we can drop it down a little bit. I think we can go like
freehold system would not all be available in an alpha.
Is that good? Is that a good spot? All right. Let's do the following. Do we want to watch Asmon reacting to Steven's 6-minute video, which takes 45 minutes? I think we don't. Because he'll probably repeat it in the Steven conversation, right? I'm actually kind of curious what he says right in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think Narc misrepresented it. Because...
Sure.
So, okay, this is the reason why. And I like Narc a lot, so I'm trying to... I want to be nice, because I do really like the guy. But I think he painted a picture that was intentionally inaccurate. Because it's very obvious that when you have an alpha for a game, the entire game isn't completed or finished. But to say that the desert that we were promised wasn't in the game is only a partial truth, and I think the partial truth hinges on not taking into consideration that the game isn't fully completed. Like, I've played AAA demos that are like this. Like, I play...
Is it still good, chat? Is it still too quiet? Are we good here? you want it to be louder, or is this what do you say?
Like, let me think of some examples of this. No Rest for the Wicked, the demo for that, like a lot of the game wasn't finished. I think World of Warcraft is the best example. Like, how many of you guys
I'll do 70%.
remember the super popular videos that I did of WoW where I go into the alpha and it's not available yet, or like there's big huge swaths of the game that aren't doable? He also claimed the desert that they had was easily put in Unreal Engine in 10 minutes. Yeah, the desert not being...
All right. Let's hear the conversation with Narc. I'm not going to watch this entire thing of Steven flying around the map because, well, he'll talk about that here, I'm guessing. What else do we have here? Oh, that's Asmon banning somebody. Nice. Always fun.
Oh, yo, what's up, man?
Yo, Asmon, hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, well, I was having fun. I was playing Dark Souls, and then suddenly I wasn't playing Dark Souls.
Which Dark Souls were you playing?
It's in 1. I've never played Dark Souls before in my entire life.
Oh my god.
It's the first.
Well, you know.
Do you know what? Hey, not too shot Smaug and that guy. I two-shot him.
I'm gonna be honest. That is impressive. Smaug and Ornstein. Yeah, in Orlando,
Yeah,
that is
Ornstein,
impressive. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was pretty good. Yeah, I was surprised.
So you're liking the
was
game?
Molding. Yeah, the game's actually insane, and I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, I'm going to make a video about it and stuff
Good.
like that because of this whole situation. You know, my goal is to distance myself with Ashes because of the whole situation.
So how'd this start? Because it seems like I'm sure you probably did. You see my reaction to your video and everything?
No, I didn't get around to it yet.
Okay.
But I got the TLDR. Apparently,
Sure.
So apparently, you were. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, and I've got it from a bunch of Twitch chat aroundies.
What's up, Adrian?
You were like disagreeing with the video, but then apparently your comment section was actually agreeing with me.
Yeah,
in the video.
a lot of people actually agreed with you in the comment section. A lot of the chatters did, and commenters.
So the thing is, if anyone who's actually played the game, like knows the truth, right? Because they've been to the desert, they know the state of the desert.
Well, how do you
So
how do you reconcile that with people like Pirate Software who have played the game a lot, who show
Honestly,
that that's not the case?
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what's going through Pirate's head.
Okay.
Because I don't know what he sees in the video game. I'll say to him though, he really likes the video game. And it's likely because he thinks the video game's going to be like EVE Online. I don't really think the game's going to be like EVE Online.
Okay.
I think it's trying to be more like Lineage or Arcade, not Lineage.
I will say though, the colors sure are a lot nicer, but that's like a very minor detail. They've fixed the lighting a lot in the last few months. They still have a lot of work to do though.
Not EVE. So
well, yeah, I mean, I know Steven played a lot
is...
of Lineage before before this, and Arcade as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so like Pirate's, his perception of the video game, I feel like is Pirate wants it to be one thing, which I just don't think it is, and it's never tried to be that. But then there's this other group who want it to be like classic WoW. Then there's the group who want it to be like Lineage. So there's like factions within the game's community who want it to be in different ways.
I think that's a huge problem for like every MMO, because like every MMO is going to have like a faction of people that want it to be a hardcore PvP, or they want it to be a theme park, or they want it to be an MMO, or they want it to have roguelike features.
I don't know what Pirate Software server is ever going to look like. It's such a weird way to play the game. So yeah, like what they're saying is Pirate wants it to be like EVE Online. Basically, Pirate Software has like a 10,000 person plus guild, and everyone in his guild is working together, and they have like 50 different like in-game guilds all coordinated. It's just a one guild server. It's so weird. Like on EVE Online, you can do that because the game is structured very differently, and there can be other 10,000 man guilds, right? And Ashes just doesn't have the land space for that. Even though Ashes is going to be gigantic, someone of Pirate size can literally take over the server, which is very hard to find. Like, I doubt there's going to be many servers like that where there could be one-man servers, but Pirate can definitely do it. I would never want to play on that server because that sounds boring since there is literally no competition for anything. It's just, hey, we're just going to build a server where we're all cooperative. But then what's the end game, right? It feels like, well, we're just going to make a server where everybody just gets everything. Like, why though? I don't know. It's not for me. But hey, if that's what Pirate wants to do, that's pretty cool. And you know, maybe it will happen down the line that in Pirate's server, parts of his guild will break off, try to form their own guilds that fight back, right? Like, things could happen. I could see some fun there happening as well in that sense. So time will tell, right? But in general, the Pirate case is kind of unique.
Or 7, but it's impossible to manage all of those expectations, sure.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think Pirate Software looked at, for example, like the desert, and I think that was really the main point of contention that a lot of people are bringing up.
Yeah.
Is that
okay? Yeah. So the desert's currently in 2 sections. There is an old section of the desert, the thing that you've got up on your stream at the moment, the current state. This section of the desert that looks quote unquote complete. This isn't complete. This is just a bare bones, empty area that's had trees placed around it. The grass, you can even see the grass in this screenshot right now, is not rendering correctly because the grass doesn't render correctly in this area. This is an unfinished area. It's got 0 points of interest. It's got 0 dungeons. All it's got is random mobs and random trees placed all around it. I made a whole video showing this segment of the desert in phase 1. I flew around this and I made a bet with Steven and said, you know what? If the desert exists, I'll cut my beard off. And guess what? I flew around this section and I was like, yeah, do you know what? The desert exists. I'll shave my beard off.
Oh, that's a lot.
And I fucking look like a thumb. I look like a thumb for, what was it, 2-3 weeks?
So then what changed?
So what changed was when phase 2 launched, they advertised phase 2 with a $110 price tag, having an expansion to the desert. So that, and I stated this explicitly in the video, it's all about the expansion. The expansion to the desert
Did you
is what I
say that
showed.
in the video? I don't remember you saying that because like, so, and this is the impression that I got. Well, you can see like, so like when I watched the video that you did, the impression that I got from the video is that
this is the desert.
You were showing the desert and there was like nothing in the desert at all.
Exactly.
Like all of the images that you showed you, and it looks like if you look at your mini map, you're basically on the edge of the map.
Anybody who watched Dark's video was basically like, oh my god, wait, this is what they delivered for the desert? This is all there is? This is a scam. Narc didn't show anything that looked like this. He basically painted a picture where he said, this is what they promised, and this is what they delivered, right? That was the bullshit part.
That the things that were advertised in the demo from 2 years ago were not present in the alpha. Is that correct?
Yep.
Is that true?
Yep. And I would say, yeah, I'd stand by that. That's true. These things do not exist.
So if I look at it and I see the things that were shown in alpha in like this demo from 2 years ago, and then
Sure.
I look at the video that Steven's showing right now of the desert.
Same trees, same cactuses.
I
same
feel
assets.
like these two things are pretty congruent. Like,
Right.
if
What things would you say that exist from both those trailer from 2 years ago and and what Steven's showing? What would you say exists, quote unquote exists? Is it the trees?
Well, yeah, the developed landscape that they showed in the trailer.
Okay.
And also,
Same tree, same cactus. I mean, rocks are rocks.
and you're contrasting that because you making the comparison in your video that the comparison is actually it's this empty desert. Because that's what you're comparing it with. But if you look at the video itself,
What's the drama? Narc made a video basically saying, like, you can see this part, like, he was saying, like, this is what we were promised. It's hard to find out. Like, we were promised this, and we got this. But it's not true. We got all of this. He went basically to the edge of the world, found an empty area, and it's like, yeah, we don't have anything. The desert is empty.
Deserts and snowfields are easy to make because you can get away with minimal terrain features, but that desert just has nothing.
I mean, that part of the desert at the edge of the map has nothing. But that's because that's the edge of the map. They're going to expand into it, right? This part, like right here, has a lot, at least in terms of terrain. Now, there's really not much to do in the desert. At least there wasn't in phase 1. But that's okay. Phase 2 is going to last for a few more months. They're going to add stuff.
And you see inside of the game, it does seem like that's what the game looks like.
I agree that the rocks exist. The rocks exist and the trees exist.
But do you see how if you do that and then you show this image of a completely like unfinished area, it's going to give people the impression that the entire desert is also unfinished?
Correct.
Well, you've got to use the context that you got to acknowledge the context that I've already made a 20-minute video showing off this section of the desert that Steven's currently showing.
No. You can't say in a previous video I did that, and then say, well, in this video I didn't mention it. Because not everyone saw your previous video, right? Your previous video has what, maybe like 15K views, and this one has probably like 80 plus K views. You can't go, oh, but in a previous video I did clarify this. It's bullshit, dude. Like this was mostly just to like, you know, get shit on Steven. You can't do that.
So that
I've already done this.
Okay, that's fine. So what you're saying is that inside of this video, though, that context doesn't exist.
Correct.
Because like if there's a previous video where you've explained it, okay, so then you can see why people would be confused, right?
Yeah, I would assume that I don't.
It's 150K views now, Jesus.
Reach a very wide audience, right? My audience has been the same 10,000 people for, again, 3 fucking years covering this game.
Yeah.
So when I make videos, I always assume that people have seen the previous videos.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when I release a thing, I reference the things that I said in the last video because it's always a continuation of when.
Yeah, nothing was referenced here though. It was basically him going from one to the other, like laughing about it. I thought it was a really good joke, by the way. I said this before. I thought him using this as the look at the desert that we got and look at the picture we were promised. I thought it was a good joke for Twitch. Like for Twitch itself, I thought that joke was pretty funny because everyone on Twitch, on your channel, literally knows you're making a joke. But I didn't think it was good for YouTube.
And I'm covering the video game. So anyone who's interested in Ashes of Creation have already seen that previous Desert Expansion video because I don't really reach an audience outside of my own 10 to 20K people.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. That's fine if you want to do that. But I think when you do have a video that does get popular, right? I mean, and I'm sure you would have expected this one to get popular.
Is it popular? I've not checked.
I mean, it's got 130,000 views. That's really good. I mean, it popped off. Yeah.
I'm gonna put some fucking ads on that one.
Yeah, me too. And so the point is like, so if I just watched that video, which is what I did.
Did he really say, did it get popular? I didn't know that. I didn't check. What? I find that hard to believe, dude. There's no way. He's actually getting on Asmon's stream to talk about it. There's Steven reacting to it. Oh, well, really? People watch the video? Does it really have more than 10K views? Get out of here, bro. Stop the bullshit. Get out of here. I didn't know the video. Yeah, sure. I'm sure you didn't know, but you knew that Asmon Gold was reacting to it and wants to talk to you, and that Steven reacted to it. Like, get out of here. Anyway, oh, wait, was that chat? What is this? Yo, look at that. Something's getting recommended here. Click the video, Asmon. You can do it. It's right there. A mouse click away.
And I think also the odds are that every single person
Chad, if you watch this video and you see that, just click it.
Watching the videos is not... Because, and this is another way to look at it, right? Is that if a lot of people are angry about it and they're perceiving the desert to be incomplete, that would also imply that they also did not see the other videos either. Because if they had seen the other videos as well, like you said, then they wouldn't be making these comments because they would know that it was contextualized.
Well, here's the thing.
All right, time out, chat. We got to do something here. Oh no, dude. All right, wait. All right. Just for context.
So I make this video.
Just for context. This is the video everyone's talking about. Titled, "This will be my last Ashes of Creation video." He's done with Ashes of Creation, okay? He's done. Yesterday's stream, subathon goal, will not quit Ashes of Creation forever. What a guy, dude. All right, you know what? Like it, it's all good. It's all good. I respect the grift, you know. I can understand. Oh man, he's actually farming. He is farming. You know, I think it comes down to this. He realized that Ashes of Creation, he can't farm the actual content because the mechanics are not there, so he's just gonna farm money instead. I can respect it. All right, let's continue.
Here's what all I'm trying to do is make a video explaining why I am no longer in support of this video game, right?
Okay.
I don't support the video game anymore because what they showed 2 years ago, this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist, right? Looking at my stream, I'm showing you this. This shit doesn't exist.
Well, how do you know it doesn't exist? Maybe they already have this built. They just haven't put it in the game yet because all of the systems behind it are not ready to implement it into the world. What?
What is this? Is this even an asset that exists? None of this exists, right? But when they
how do you know it doesn't exist? It's just not in the client you're playing. What does it mean this doesn't exist?
showed it 200.
How do you know?
2 years ago for a $250 price tag based on this, the current state of the game. You saw these reactions, didn't you? You
I
were
did.
there
I
for
watched
that.
it.
You
Yes.
were very excited. Did you
This might exist or not exist, but how do you know? Like, how can you definitively say it doesn't?
have any impression that this wasn't the current state of the video game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
you looked at this and thought, well, this is this is what they got, right? This is what they're showing us.
Yes and no. So like I've gone through a lot of betas and demos for games before, and I know that like for example, like there are many games that have cut content or they don't fully show the game whenever it's ready. And I think also there are cases where like big
You're acting like he is making a full video of the desert when the video was about the problems of the game and he showed the problematic part of the desert. Sure, he could have worded it better, but acting like there is no base for his criticism is making up lies to slander a game he put 4 years of his life is disingenuous, not fair to the guy. All right, did you watch my previous video? I'm going to do the same thing. Did you watch my video or are you just watching what I'm saying now? I mean, we covered all of that yesterday when we were reacting to it in general. But what did I say exactly about what he did with the desert? I literally said, I think this is funny on Twitch because it's obviously a joke, but it doesn't translate to YouTube because people on YouTube actually don't know any better. Like if you're showing this to 150, 200, 300 viewers on Twitch who all play Ashes of Creation and have been watching you play Ashes of Creation for the past few hours because he was literally streaming Ashes of Creation, then you're doing the back and forth. It's a cool joke. It works. If you do that on a YouTube video and you literally only clip the part where you're showing this is what they promised, this is what we have, you give no context or you actually give no reason for people to even think it's a joke. It's just attacking the company because people are going to see it and say, wow, it's actually a scam. He didn't present it as a joke at all. He presented it as, look how fucked up it is. This is what we were promised, this is what we got. With a laugh, like, yeah, we're screwed, chat. It's over. Look, this is what they gave us. This is what they delivered. Now, was that his intention? I have no idea. I don't know the guy. It definitely got him a lot of views. It's not a joke, though. What?
components of a game are not being added in until like later on in the future. So I think if a game is in an alpha state, like every single image that you see inside, I think this is what your impression is, right? Is that every single image that you saw on these previews, you expected to be in the alpha.
Well, yeah, they showed this saying, you know, this is the desert. There's many. If you watch that, if you go back and just watch that whole live stream, there is no context in that live stream that what they showed, this whole thing is just a concept. This is just the assets. They never once did they say that. They implied, they made it look like that this is the current state of the desert. It's not the current state of the desert. The desert probably didn't even exist at this point, because the desert doesn't exist now. There is no desert.
Okay, that doesn't. What do you mean desert doesn't exist now? There is no desert. That's just bullshit. He is right that some people can take what they said on the live stream as this is all already completed and fully functioning with all the systems integrated. It's a bit of a leap, but I can see how people would see that. I didn't think that when I saw this. All I really got from the Desert Showcase personally was, oh cool, they have this mount functioning. Oh cool, they have some really cool looking stuff around here. I personally never made the assumption that the entire desert is fully functioning with all the systems backing it. I never thought, wow, this thing, they already probably have the entire story arc finished for this, whatever this is, and when I click on it, it's gonna, you know. I'm like, yeah, the desert looks kind of cool. And I like the snail mount. That's all I got from the Desert Showcase. I like the vision of how the desert looks. Right? That's what I got from it. Different people can get different stuff. So if you're going to make criticism here, I think it's fair to say, hey, they need to communicate better what a showcase means. That's fair to say. Maybe they did a bad job communicating. Me personally, I didn't really get the wrong idea from their showcase. I can understand why some people did. It's not really the people's fault. Might be Intrepid's fault. But it's really weird to say the desert doesn't exist. What does that mean? That's just bad wording. Like, word better. What does he say here?
The assets. They never once did they say that. They implied, they made it look like that this is the current state of the desert. It's not the current state of the desert. The desert probably didn't even exist at this point, because the desert doesn't exist now.
What does it mean the desert doesn't exist now? What does it mean the desert didn't exist at this point? It obviously, they had the assets to make the showcase. What do you mean it doesn't exist now? Of course it does. I played in the desert in phase 1. I spent literally like 20 hours plus just playing in the desert in phase 1.
Testing.
There
There
is
it
no
is. Sorry,
desert.
I was caught up in some admin shit. What up, boys? What up?
Oh god. I had a stream open, I think.
Well, there is though, right? Because like if you look
Wait, did
at
you just go live? Is that why it popped off? You just go live right now? No, he didn't.
the image that he showed, and
I thought he was here.
if you look at it, you can see that there is a desert that's very expanded on. I think
Dude, this is why I like Asmon a lot. This is why I think the guy's really, really cool. I've always liked this content for this reason. He's a smart guy and he can pick stuff up. That's exactly what I'm saying. There is a desert. You can clearly see it's there. And he's able to pick up on this stuff real time and just say it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to agree with what he says. But I like the fact that he's aware of what's being said. And he picks up on it fast. And he can address it.
that you bring up a good point that like this image and this specific case with like this tower is not there.
Oh no,
True.
not just that specific. I would say everything in this trailer doesn't exist.
What?
Everything. And you'll be hard pressed to find it.
Okay.
All the trees were there. All the cactuses were there. The sand is there. The cliffs are there. Lighting's different.
Okay, well, why don't you just pick a random spot?
This one.
So that's not that.
Are you saying the sand doesn't exist? Are we saying that this mount doesn't exist in the devs version of the build? This mount 100% exists, by the way. Just because players can't use it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I don't even know if players can use it or not, because they literally showcased a functioning riding mount. It's easier, literally, to have the mount running and use it for a showcase than to actually animate the whole thing in an animation client. Like, there's no way they faked the mount.
That's not in there.
No.
Okay, go to another one. So and by the way, this is just a random. I mean, you realize that's literally one asset that's placed on a mountain, right?
And by the way, just to bring this up, this doesn't exist is also bullshit, The odds of this being an asset they currently have fully modeled, they just haven't put it into the world yet, is like 99%. For this not to exist means they literally took out something like 3D Photoshop and made it in a frame just for the showcase. That's almost more work than to actually have the same model done and used for the showcase. Like, this 99% exists somewhere within their assets. They just didn't have a reason to place it into the alpha test yet because it serves no purpose other than maybe a decoration.
So,
and maybe they don't want it to be a decoration. Maybe there's something tied to this that's just not ready to be used.
and by the way, this is just a random... I mean, you realize that's literally one asset that's placed on a mountain, right?
Yeah. But they've sold the game based on...
This mob exists. We were farming these mobs. This tree exists. I don't know if this little house exists, but I guarantee you this asset exists. All of these... I mean,
This is the current state of the desert. We've got these dunes. We've got this, what do you call this, like a Badlands area. None of it's actually there. These trees, when they sold the desert expansion, they said that we could cut the trees down.
And you can cut the trees down. That cutting... Oh my god, like, is he being purposely obtuse? Just to defend a point? Like, it's so stupid. Okay, so, yes, you can't cut any of the trees down. But I guarantee you, the physics for the trees to be cut down are there. The ability for the trees to fall are there. The reason you can't cut the trees down is because their crafting system, their gathering system, they haven't been linked to these specific types of trees. None of the current items you can craft are using these materials yet. Other systems are not linked to the materials you can gather in the desert, which means there's no purpose to gathering them, which means there's no reason to actually enable these trees to be cut down in the first place. These aren't just like some fake, like, it's such a weird take to have.
Well, you can't actually cut the trees down. The trees don't exist. You run through them. They are... they're not real assets. They're assets in the fact that they're there, like you can see them, but you can't interact with them.
You can't interact with them because they haven't put the flag of interactable. That's literally one flag. The reason they haven't done that yet is because other systems that are linked to that are not ready.
There's no interaction with anything in the desert. The mobs are just randomly placed, seemingly. There's no points of interest. So the Riverlands is full of these points of interest. There's about 18 or so, 20 points of interest. You know, they're pretty, they're pretty fleshed out, pretty good, especially the Tara Coffin. Tara Coffin looks great. But the desert is missing all of that. It's missing all of that, right? This is what the quote unquote expansion to the desert is. It's this.
So what do you like? How do you define? Because like I think this has been a big problem with the Ashes of Creation like development, and it's
you're not wrong, man.
It's
holy.
Wait, what?
You're not wrong. The whole thing where
Phase 2, you cannot run through them. Fair.
What's what?
Well, what is it like? Yeah, like how do you define an alpha? Because like I've played through a lot of alphas in games, and like some alphas are very different than others. Some of them will have like the entire game available, and there'll be huge swaths of just totally unfinished content. And other people will only have an alpha where it's a small slice of the gameplay, but it's finished inside of that little small area. Yep. And so like how do you define alpha?
That's marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ashes is obviously not a marketing alpha. However, they have marketed the current progress of the game falsely. Another